In today's episode, we're going to uncover the secrets of integrating the tarot cards into your magical practices. I'm going to tell you a lot of the really cool secrets that are used by people that have been practicing magic for a long time. In fact, we're going to jump into the importance of using tarot in your magical practice first, and then I'll go into a little bit about using it in your rituals and spell work, including a little bit of talk about tarot talismans and how that works. Also, we'll talk about how to do magical pathworking with tarot cards and what that can do for you. And of course, we'll just have a little overview of how all of this works, and I'll give you some good details. So thanks for joining me. I'm Brandy Joy, your esoteric teacher. So this is our second episode, and it's called Tarot Secrets for Magical Practice. I am actually a teacher of tarot and other esoteric subjects like astrology and high magic. And I like to break these subjects down into step-by-step processes so that you can take your first step and not feel overwhelmed with all the information. Now, I do give you a lot of information in these podcasts, and I do have a lot of different types of people that are listening, including beginners and more advanced people. So if you are confused by any of this, I have a lot more beginner videos out there, and I also have courses and a membership and things like that. So I hope you'll join me in some of my upcoming courses. I'll be teaching ritual magic and astrological magic coming up soon. Definitely check out my website, brandyjoy.com, if you haven't already. And you can follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. So let's talk about tarot, one of my favorite subjects, actually. I am a huge fan of symbolism, of archetypes, and of anything self-development in terms of, metaphysics and psychology. I'm a big fan of Jung and Freud and everything. I have degrees in psychology. I like to integrate all of that stuff. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is why it's so important to do tarot first before you do a magical ritual. Now, if you don't want to use tarot cards, although I do highly recommend it, if you think it's too much and you don't want to learn tarot, you can use another divination practice like a pendulum, for example, or something else that maybe you like to throw the I Ching. In fact, I have some I Ching sticks right back here. You can see. Those are really good too. I really like the tarot cards though, because they give you a lot of information, like the why and the how and all of the extra little things that you need to know. So I really prefer tarot cards, and I think they're great for actually using in your magical practice work, which I'm going to go into today. So anyways, getting back to it, the first thing you want to do is you want to do a divination. I always use tarot cards before I do any magic, and especially if it's gray magic. So if you want to so there's white, black, and gray magic, right? So white magic is just simply alchemical work, meaning that you are doing things to, it's energy work where you're expanding your aura, clearing your energy, your consciousness, just like meditation practices and higher level, high magic rituals that really just help you solidify your aura and clear out things and things like that, right? That's white magic. And then we have the black magic, which is when you are working with things on the darker side. And it can even just be that you are doing shadow work. It could be that you are doing things that are influencing outside energies, other people's will, things like that are usually considered black magic. If you want to jump in about any of this, I love comments from you guys and discussions. But gray magic is neutral magic. That means that you're manifesting change, you're working with law of attraction, you're working with manifestation work to make changes in your external reality. Right? So gray magic, it's not good or bad. It's just, oh, I want money, so I'm going to do a money spell. Or I want a relationship, so I'm going to do a love spell. That would be gray magic. So before you do gray magic, you always want to do a divination. And the divination will tell you, hey, what's going to happen if I do this? And so tarot cards are really good at speaking very clearly to you. All you have to do is get to know the cards, right? And there's only 78 cards. So it's really not that hard to get to know them. Anyways, you want to find out like, hey, what's going to happen if I do this? And the tarot cards would tell you this. Now, if you use something else like a pendulum, you can say, should I do this? Okay, yes or no usually is what you're going to get. But that's the first step. You really want to make sure that you find out, because if you do a ritual, let's say that you do a ritual, a gray magic ritual, and you manifest something, but it wasn't really karmically in the right path for you right now. And so, according to theory, and a lot of the teachers out there, always say, if you do gray magic without doing a divination first, you could put yourself into a bad path, right? I don't know if that's true. This is just what I've been taught by other people. If you read some of the very high level books on this stuff, it's what it says. If you listen to some of the teachers, that's what they say. I can give you lots of names if you want to know authors and things like that. I'm not going to really think about it right now, but that is the what should I call it? Superstition, right? I don't know. But I have always done a divination, and I always listen to my divinations. That's how I do it. I go with what is traditionally taught about it, that, hey, just make sure you do a divination. And sometimes the cards will say something that makes sense to you. It's like, oh, this isn't the right time karmically for you. They can tell you that. Or they can say, well, if you do this right now, this, it could happen, but it won't be exactly what you. So for instance, let's say you want to sell something, right? And you pull a card and it says, you shouldn't create and sell this product, right? You don't want to put all of your energy into this, because when you do it, it's going to kind of fizzle. It's not going to do well, ultimately. And if you do the magic and you say, hey, what if I do this magic to do this? And they'll say, well, you could have some results, but ultimately it's not your path, right? So that's why you want to do a divination, because it will tell you more information. So it'll tell you, and it doesn't mean you have to listen to it necessarily. I mean, I have done divinations on things like that and then said, well, I still want this result right now, so I'm going to do it anyways. And it worked out, but in the long run, just like the card said, it ended up being exactly what it said, right? I've been reading cards since the 90s, so it's just like, to me, it's just like nothing. It's super, super simple for me. But I do teach tarot classes. I teach a tarot master class and stuff, and I do them live every once in a while. I haven't done one live in a while, but I do plan on doing one live again, sometimes hopefully either this year or next year. We'll see. Anyways, let's talk about the tarot consecration ritual. So tarot consecration ritual is pretty important. I've noticed a big difference between reading decks that are not consecrated versus those that are consecrated. I have a lot of decks, and I use some of them just for teaching purposes. Some of them I use for reading for myself. Some of them I use for magic, and some of them I use for reading for other people. And typically, you want to have different decks for different things. You don't necessarily want to use the same deck all of the time. It can get a little like messy and dirty and messy energetically as well. You can, but you have to make sure you clear them a lot. And I know I've taught in clearing in other videos and stuff a lot, but it's been a while. So to clear them before you do a consecration ritual, just to tell you what clearing is, if you want to clear your deck, because let's say it's either a new deck or you've been using it with other people and you want to clear it, or maybe you've been reading for yourself and you want to do a clearing on it so that you're getting more accurate answers on other things, you can just do simple things. Like one thing I like to do is use a selenite stone. You can use crystal quartz. Any kind of white stone or clear stone is usually a nice, light, high vibration energy, and it will help to clear and pull out kind of the energy and clear it. So I like to use a selenite stone on it. Another thing is you can just simply like tap into the card, like tap the cards, the deck, and then you blow on the deck too. So you can do simple things like that. There's different ways you can go about doing this. You can use sage on them, though. I don't do sage on my cards. I have, and it usually makes them smell very sagey. So it's not something I recommend because they're going to have that smell because they're paper. Um, the other thing is beyond the clearing is you want to do the tarot consecration ritual. And what this is simply you're taking a deck and you're consecrating it for use so that it's more active. Because when you first get a deck, it's really not ready to be read. You really need to make it your own, like with your energy, and then you have to get to know each card and put energy into those cards. So I'm going to tell you the process right now on how to do a simple tarot consecration ritual. So a little of this comes from, I wanted to share these books with you. This one right here is Tarot Talismans, and that's by the Ciceros, right? And they're from the Golden Dawn. You can see the ring light there. Tarot Talismans, though. This is a great book if you're into magic. Even though you don't have to like use all of it, you can just kind of go through, and they have like all kinds of really cool stuff about the tarot cards and the 78 angels of the Shem operation. And I mean, it just has like all kinds of symbolic stuff. And then also rituals for talismans and amulets, which are really just spell work rituals. But they have the tarot consecration ritual in there as well. It's a little bit more elaborate than what I'm just going to go over here, but this is how I do it, and this is what, it's not as it's not as crazy as that one. That one gets just a little bit more than what I'm going to show you. Not much, but a little bit. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get some correspondences. Okay. So you want to get a dagger, or you can get incense, and that would be for the east of your consecration area. Okay, so you're going to sit in an area, and you can place these things into the area around, right? So the first thing is you put either a dagger or some type of sword. You can use a knife, or incense. Okay, any incense is fine. When it comes to magic, frankincense is always the go-to. Cedar is really great. I mean, it's clearing and stuff. So it really doesn't matter though. Incense is symbolic for Raphael and the air element in the east. So you're going to place one of these things that corresponds to the air element to the east. All right. And then you're going to put a red candle or a wand to the south. Right. So if you're sitting facing the east, right, you have the dagger in front of you, like on the floor or whatever you want to put it on. And then to your right, you just either put a red candle, or you can just put a wand, if you have a wand, to the south on your right. And then you're going to put either a chalice or a glass of water or a bowl of water to the west behind you. All right, so that would represent water element and Gabriel. To the right is Michael, Archangel Michael, and the fire element. Behind you is the water element. And then the left is the pentacle. So you can, if you have a magical pentacle that maybe you've created yourself, you could put that there. Or you could put just like a plate of salt that represents the earth element to your left. Okay, and that would be the north. Now, once you have these four things there, you'll put your tarot deck in the center of the circle. And it really doesn't matter how big it is. For me, I just make it really small. I just put it right there in front of me like that. And then what you do is you go behind to the west, and you're facing the east. So you have it all in front of you, and you perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Okay. If you don't know the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, definitely watch my videos on it. I have one that explains it. I have a video that is a walkthrough. I have a video that is a demonstration. I have 4 or 5 videos on YouTube on the LBRP, and it's the most popular one because I was the first one to put it on YouTube. So definitely watch that if you haven't. If you don't know how to do that, you should be doing it if you are into the magic and occult work. So you perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, which clears the area. So what you do is you stand at the west and you face east, and you perform the LBRP. You perform it around it. So you start in front of it in the east, and then you go around and you do your pentagrams around it, right? And then after you do that, after you do the LBRP there, and you create your circle with it, then you're going to stand at the west, and you're going to face east. And you're going to perform a banishing pentagram over the deck. All right. Then you're going to take the wand, and you tap the deck 3 times with the wand, and you're going to chant these divine names. Okay. Now you can tap it 3 times and then chant it, or you can tap it while you're chanting it. I do a tap, and then I chant it. And so the divine names you're going to say are, they're Hebrew, okay, from the Kabbalah, Hermetic Kabbalah. And it's A, Hey, Yay, which means I am. And then you're going to chant Yehovah Elohim. And that means Lord God. I am Lord God. That's what that means. So it sounds like this, because what you do is you use the voice of God, which is the vibratory work, where you just, you kind of chant it inside of you. So it's vibrating your body and your vocal cords and stuff. You'll feel it in your chest and everything. So it's like, hey, hey, Yehovah Elohim. Right? And there's two different ways you can actually chant that second divine name, and that can also be Yod He Vav He Elohim. Now, I like to do the first way because it's a little faster. It can be difficult for you to get through that second way with one breath. So it's usually a little better to go with the Yehovah instead of the Yod He Vav He. Anyways, personal preference. I mean, they're from different traditions, because there's a lot of different occult traditions out there, mystery schools and stuff, that kind of modify things to, how they want to do it. And so you'll notice that there is variation out there. Okay, so once you do that, then you're going to trace a cross over the deck, and you can just use sword mudra, or you can use your wand. Either way you want to go, right? And sword mudra is just simply using the two fingers, right? And you trace the cross over the deck, and you vibrate and that's just a divine name for God, the creator and destroyer. So God is everything. God creates, God destroys. So that's what that means. If you get into a little bit more about high magic, you'll learn all about that. And then you visualize a white light around the deck. And so that puts like a nice energy around it from yourself, right? Using these divine names really increases the energy for you. And then you're going to tap with the wand 3 times again. And then what I like to do is I inhale light into my chest, and I place my hands on the deck, and I breathe that light into the deck. So what you do is it's really good to do like a full ritual experience before you do this consecration ritual, because you really get like the vibration going, right? And you get a lot of energy. So what you do though is you simply put your hands on the deck, and then you inhale and you imagine a white light is coming down through your crown area up here from your head down into your chest, right? And so you inhale, you imagine that is coming down into your chest and filling your chest with light. And then when you exhale, you're putting that light through your arms, into your hands, into the deck, right? So you do that. And the more you do it, the better. The more you're putting your own energy into that deck, right? So I would say do it at least 3 times. If you can do that breath work good 10 times, that's even better. You can do it as many times as you want, however you feel about it. Go with your intuition, but at least do it 3 times. And then, so now you put your energy into it, right? And you just simply say, I now pronounce the symbols fully awakened. You can say something else. In fact, in this book, in the Tarot Talismans, they say different things. But this is what I do. So I'm just giving you my process. I now pronounce the symbols fully awakened, right? And then you end with doing just another LBRP, or you can simply do the Kabbalistic cross, where you are, doing that's it, right? Anyways, that is a tarot consecration ritual. And it's really helpful for just getting your energy into it, and it will, the deck will work for you so much better. It will be so much more easier for you to pull cards and read the cards. You might notice that if you get a new deck and you don't do something like this, it takes time to get to where you're reading the cards correctly. Even if you're a really good reader, it can be an issue because the deck's not consecrated. The energy's not in them. Your energy's not in them. And so you need to get your energy into them. And you need to do something. If you want to do it differently, that's fine. Make it up. It doesn't matter as long as you're getting your energy into the cards. And then after you do that, now you need to go through the deck one by one and you need to say a key word for the deck. Oh, I should have grabbed a deck. So you want to go through the deck and you want to say a key word for each card, right? So you take the deck, right? And you just sit there. And every day, I mean, if you can do this a few times a day, as your this is part of the consecration, for me at least, this is a big part of it, is you give each one a certain key word, and that gives it a certain energy. Okay, so I just pull it over and I go, you know, what is this card to me? I just think of celebration, choice, moving out of rough waters. You can give it a phrase. Not listening to your divine self. Right? Doing things over and over again, right? So all you do is you just go through the deck and you just sit there and you give it a meaning, and you keep going through it. And as you do that, now you are tying the meaning of each card into your energy. So that's an important part of consecrating your deck, making sure that this deck has individual meanings. Now, once you put those meanings in, right, then you can get more layers as you read them and stuff, right? But that's just part of the consecration. It's part of getting the energy into them. I highly recommend doing that. Okay, I'm going to place those there. So the next thing is the tarot contemplation ritual. The tarot contemplation ritual is where you take the tarot cards and you use them after you do ritual. Okay, so if you do ritual, like you do the LBRP and the middle pillar and hexagram rituals, whatever you might do, right? You do your rituals and you get into that altered state, and then you pull a card, right? And you take that card and you look at it and you stare at it for at least about 2 to 3 minutes. You stare at it, you scan it, meaning you look at the left, you go to the right, you look at the left, you go to the right, you keep going down the card. And this, once you stare at it, right, after you stare at it for 2 to 3 minutes, you put the card down and you close your eyes. And you let yourself journey into the card, or just allow the card images to start speaking to you. This is a form of pathworking the tarot. Pathworking, there's a lot of different ways you can do pathworking. This is one way, and it's a great way. But tarot contemplation, one card, and especially what you can do is you can just like use if you wanted to, just like the minor arcana or the major arcana to do this, and that will help you to really get to know the cards as well. So that is a really good meditation exercise to do. I recommend doing that every day along with your ritual practice. And this will help you to kind of activate the meaning of the cards to you. All of a sudden, like your dreams will be enhanced, your intuition will be enhanced. You'll have better tarot readings. There's a lot of different benefits to doing tarot contemplation rituals. You know, it enhances your intuition, and it really just helps in all ways. So anyways, the next thing is the tarot spell work or talisman work. And tarot talismans are all about like just manifesting things, right? It's kind of going, oh, I want to make more money. Okay. I'm going to, create a tarot talisman. I want to get better health. I'm going to create a tarot talisman. Okay. I want to manifest love, right? And so this book right here has actual like step-by-step on a lot of the things you can do. And, but it's very formal. It's very Golden Dawn. And it works though. When I've done tarot, talisman work from the book, it has worked, but I've also done it without the book in my own way. And that worked as well. because when you really put your energy and your focus and your intent into something, and you do ritual and energy work and all of this stuff into it, it really helps manifest things. So, to do a tarot talisman, right? One of the ways to simplify it, and the one simple way you can do it, is you take an ace, right? And so I have the 4 aces here, right? And it's more complex in that book over there. But if you simply want to do one for some spell work to manifest, take one of the aces, all right? And we have the Ace of Cups, and this would be if you want to manifest maybe love, intuition, psychic work. You want to manifest, a relationship, anything to do with emotions, better emotions, more balanced emotions, more love in your life, more connection in your life. That would be working with the Ace of Cups. Okay. If you want to work with the Pentacles, you would be working with money, career, promotion, finances, health. So any of those things, anything material or physical, projects, maybe a business or a brand. Ace of Swords is anything to do with the intellect, communication, speaking, writing, teaching. Also ideas, if you're trying to come up with some ideas and get your mind working faster. And then we have the Wand. Ace of Wands is a fire element card. So this could be, let's say you need to take on more initiative in your life. You need to get more energy, more action, more will, more drive. You need to like get going, get more ambitious, confidence as well. This can also be sex. So anything that's fiery, anything that corresponds to fire element. So what you do though is you take one of these cards that you decide, and you simply, just put your energy into it with that intent. So you choose one, you breathe your energy and your intent into it, just like I was telling you earlier. So you would do your rituals, right? LBRP, middle pillar, get the energy clear, altered state. And then you simply breathe, inhale in, imagine that coming into your heart, and then exhale all of that energy into this with that intent. So you have to maintain the intent. That's important in magic. So you're breathing into the card, and then you step into the card and you visualize the outcome happening. So you step into the card, you visualize that, you have this wand or whatever it might be, you have the pentacle, or, you are the person in the card now, and you visualize the outcome. Then you can take like a corresponding candle. So you could take like a red candle or you can do a white candle for any of them, but you can do like a red candle for the wand, the fire element. You can do like a yellow candle for swords, the mental element. You can use a green candle for the earth element. And finally, you can do like a blue card for the water element, right? A blue candle for the water element. Anyways, what you do is you take the candle and you would put it behind the card. So once you consecrate the card, you have the card there on like your altar or just wherever you want, right? Your table. Don't put it in sunlight, because sunlight actually will make that energy disperse, right? Too fast, and it kind of disintegrates. So you want that energy, that astral energy, right? Which is astral energy kicks up at night. You ever notice that? In fact, think about like the winter time, and you have the time of Scorpio, the end of October, we go into the dark night, right? And all of a sudden, like things kick up astrally, right? Same thing, right? You want to kick it up astrally. You're using astral. So you want to work with the astral with this. You're putting that energy into it. You want it to be kind of a dark area. So you can even place a cloth over it if you wanted to. But when you want to make this happen, and now you have the energy in it and you want to put it into the universe, right? What you can do is you can just place that candle, put it on fire, that just the candle. You don't have to put your card on fire, but you just put your candle on fire behind it, and it will help to get that energy moving, right? And yeah, that is it. I mean, when I've done tarot talisman work, I have seen some really great, success with it quite a few times. So I highly recommend it. I think it's awesome. It works really well for me. I've seen it work for other people as well that I know. And so, yeah, definitely give it a try if you haven't. Next thing I want to talk about, kind of flipping over to something a little different right now, is which tarot card are you? Okay, so each card is corresponded to a zodiac sign or a planet or an element. So to determine your personal tarot cards, right, your personal tarot cards would correspond to like your zodiac sign and the planets that rule your zodiac sign. You can also get into numerology as well, but we're just going to talk about the astrology mainly. So your tarot card, and I'm going to go over each one with you actually right now, just quickly. I have them right here. I have them listed for you quickly. So Aries is the Emperor. So if you are, let me see if I can kind of pull them out a little bit here and there for you guys. Let's see. Where's my major? Here they are. I might have them out of order a little bit though. I have these in order usually because I teach with them a lot. These are really good teaching cards. It's called Astro Matrix Tarot. It's from the app Astro Matrix, which is a really cool astrology app that I like to use. But yeah, the Emperor, he's not popping up for me right now. Empress, Magician, Hierophant. Here he is. So the Emperor Tarot card is Aries, right? So here, I want to make sure you can see it. I don't have my monitor on me. All right, so that's the Emperor. And if you're an Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, any of your personal planets that are Aries, this would correspond for you to that planet. So if you are a Sun or Rising, right, this would be like a main card for your life. And if you have like a Moon in Aries, right, this would represent your Moon. And so when you look at this card and you think, oh my gosh, my Moon is about like my emotional body and my mother. Like, what does that mean for me when I look at this card? Okay, so getting to know each card from your zodiac will be really helpful for you because it will tell you a lot about your life and how that archetype manifests in your world. So Aries is also ruled by Mars, right? The planet Mars corresponds to Aries. So you could also look for the tower in your deck, and the tower card represents Mars energy. And so Mars, here it is. Here's the tower, right? And so the tower card, this would tell you a lot about yourself as well. So again, it's Mars. So wherever Aries is for you, whatever planets might be in Aries for you, that would tell you about that area of your life. So let's go over them really quick, all of them, right? So Taurus is the Hierophant, and Venus rules Taurus. So the Empress represents Venus. And so those two cards would be all about you if you have Taurus energy. Then if you're a Gemini or you have some Gemini energy in your chart, Gemini is the Lovers, which is one of my favorite cards. And Mercury is the Magician. So Mercury rules Gemini. Mercury. Okay. So the Magician would be another of your cards. Cancer, that would be the tarot card, the Chariot. If you're a Cancer in some way, maybe you have Mars or Venus Cancer or Sun or Moon, it doesn't matter, any of those. So the Sun is like your vitality, it's your energy, right? Your Moon is your emotional body. Your Mercury is your communication style. Your Venus is what you're attracted to. And Mars, and this is simplified, of course, and Mars is your power and your magnetism and your sexuality. Okay. So anyways, Cancer is the Chariot. The moon is the High Priestess. That represents Cancer. That rules Cancer, the moon. So that would be the High Priestess. If you have Leo energy, you'd be the Strength card. And also the Sun rules Leo, so that would be the Sun card. And finally, we have the Virgo. If you're a Virgo in some way, you would have the Hermit card as part of your world. And Mercury for magicians. So the Magician card for Mercury, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, planet Mercury. And then Libra, the Justice card. And finally, Libra is ruled by Venus, so the Empress card. And then Scorpio, Death card, of course. And if you are a Scorpio, right, we have Pluto or Mars, so you could go with the Tower or you can go with Judgment. So if you go by more of the modern astrology, you could go with the Judgment card. If you go more for traditional astrology and you like that, you could go with the Tower card. It doesn't really matter. You can even look at both of them and use both of them. Sagittarius is Temperance, the Temperance card, alchemy. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so Wheel of Fortune would also be your card. And Capricorn is the Devil. And Saturn rules Capricorn, so the World card. If you're a Capricorn, the World card is also a big part. And finally, we have a couple left. We have Aquarius, which is the Star card. And Uranus rules Aquarius. And also, so this would be the Fool. Also, Saturn rules Aquarius. And so that would be the World card. Pisces is the Moon card. And Neptune rules Pisces. So that would be the Hanged Man. Anyways, you could also go with Jupiter for Pisces traditionally, and so that'd be Wheel of Fortune. So anyways, that's just to kind of give you a quick rundown. I'll be teaching a whole workshop on this soon, but I just wanted y'all to know what they correspond to in your life. And so you can use those. You can really get to know those cards and how they're playing out in your life. You could do some good path working with them. And so with path working, let's talk about path working, magical path working with tarot cards. So path working is where you meditate with the cards, and benefits are, you get really great shadow work out of them. You get great insights, spiritual insights. You get all kinds of answers you might need about things as you do path working. Also, here, let me go into some stuff for you really quick about this. Let me move this out of the way. So I grabbed a couple of, I have these huge outlines from these workshops that I do with pathworking, like tarot cards and stuff. So each tarot card corresponds to part of the tree of life. Okay. So there's paths on the tree of life, right? And they connect the spheres on the tree of life. We have 10 spheres. Technically, we have 11 spheres, but one of them is hidden. So we have the 10 spheres that are all connected with the tarot cards, right? And so the tarot cards, the major arcana, connect all of these spheres, right? And so each path has correspondences. It has a correspondence to a tarot card and a color and a vice and a virtue and a goal and all kinds of psychological meanings and spiritual meanings, right? So just to give you an example, we have path none, which is, it corresponds to the death card, the death tarot card, path none. And this one is one of the 3 paths leading from the personality, your personality, to your high self. You have 3 paths you can take on the tree of life to get from who you are on just an ego level in life to your high self, your divine self, to really get connected to it, right? So you can take one of these 3 path workings, and the death card is one of them. It's called the Path of the Flaming Sword. It's the path to the higher self, and it directs your personality. This one is all about, like, true dark night of the soul, and going through growth, major spiritual growth. The fish is part of it, and the fish represents like the deep waters and the great sea, and just like the Mother Mary, you could say. It also represents Scorpio, the scorpion, the serpent, the eagle, the phoenix. So you can see there's all of these like correspondences. There's all these meanings. And I can go on, and I do whole lectures on this. And then once you get to understanding like about this path and about this tarot card and what it all means, then you can do what's called pathworking it. And so if you wanted to pathwork Scorpio or pathwork the Death Tarot card, same thing, right? You're going to achieve like understanding from a higher level, understanding your problems in life and your karma. You'll be able to let go easier. You'll also reveal some of your weaknesses. Anything ego driven will come out for you, like shadow work, right? But it helps you to face your fears when you do this path working. It helps you to go through good healing processes and opening to new possibilities and new beginnings. And so, yeah, this is a really good one to do path working on. Makes you highly intuitive. And so once you get to know all these symbols, like you can do path working by yourself, like just doing a meditation where you step into the card and you really visualize the symbols. And another thing you can do is you can take like a correspondence of the sphere in front of you and the correspondence where you want to go, and the correspondence of the sphere behind you. So you could say, for example, if you want to go from Netzach, which is represents like Venus and emotions and like love and desire and passion and everything, you could put like a green candle behind you. Or you could do something like the Lover's Tarot card, just because to you it represents love and passion. Or you could put an actual symbol there. So for instance, a love letter you received from somebody, or just anything that represents passion and love and things for you. And you could put that behind you. And then in front of you, you could put a symbol for Tippereth. And so that would be the sun. So you could put like a lamp or a light in front of you, or a candle that represents the sun. And then you can have that tarot card, the death card, there with you, right? And so you're taking the path of death, and and you're going from this sphere to that sphere, right? And this can teach you a lot about this path working and about yourself as you step into it and you meditate with it. That's traditional path working. But also traditional path working involves having a guide, right? And the occult, some of the occult mystery schools will guide you in your path working. Some won't. Some will tell you, to learn the correspondences and do it yourself. But we always do this in my programs where I'm a hypnotist. I'm a certified hypnotist. And so I actually hypnotize people and take them into past lives, take them onto the other side. And I also do guided path working. So the way I do it is very traditional hypnosis. And so it takes you very deep if we do it properly, right? I have seen the most amazing things happen with people with this stuff. But you don't really want just anybody to try to guide you on this. I have taken some pathworking classes with other people to see what they were doing, and they were honestly pretty awful because they weren't trained as hypnotist guides. And so they would just kind of go, okay, close your eyes. All right, take some deep breaths. Now just step into the card, and we are blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's not how you do pathworking. Pathworking, you want to get the people into an altered state, and then you have to confuse the mind. And then once you get them into the altered state, then you go into a monotone. You slow down your voice. Use a hypnotic voice, right? So you have to know what you're doing here. And if you don't, look into it, learn about it if you want to do this for other people. But to guide people, you have to be able to keep them in an altered state, and you have to slowly take them into all these visualizations. It's a lot of work. I mean, by the time I'm done with the pathworking class, I'm pretty drained usually, because I just like sat there and hypnotized myself for like an hour, right? It can get really crazy. But anyways, that's pathworking. You guide them through all of the symbols, and you take them into, the temple of the sphere, or you take them into the path, and they experience the correspondences, like the archangels, and uh the choir of angels, and they experience like parts of the tarot card. It's pretty awesome. It's a creative, imaginative exercise that's super fun and super enlightening, and helps you to like really like enhance your dreams and your intuition and everything. So it's a big part of magical esoteric practices. So yeah, anyways, that is a little bit of a rundown about path working. And yeah, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything in my outline here. But no, anyways, I have a couple of freebies for you guys. I mean, the first one is download the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram Guide if you haven't. Make sure you watch my videos on YouTube about it if you haven't. The guide that I have, you can download it, and then you can use that as you practice for a while until you get used to it. And then the other thing that I have for you is I have a fun quiz. I have a few fun quizzes. As a psychologist, I make quizzes. But I have Discover Your Tarot Reading Style. And this one is really fun, because whether you're a seasoned reader or you're just starting out and you've never read tarot cards before, this is a psychological quiz, and it'll help you discover your unique reading style. So you might be like a tarot counselor, or you might be a tarot coach, or you might be a psychic card reader, or you might be an intuitive tarot reader, or you might be an expert holistic tarot reader. So this helps you to figure out what your strengths are and how to enhance your tarot practice if you do want to read cards. Now, you don't even have to read them for other people. It could just be that you read them for yourself, but this is how you go about like working with them. Some people are super psychic. Some people are really good at coaching and kind of, giving good advice and stuff. So anyways, check those out. Simple, fun little quiz with a few questions. And I will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. And also, I would love to hear from you guys about the tarot course, because I'm going to put that back out and go live with it here eventually. I would love to know if you're interested in taking a tarot course from me. And if you want to know anything specific, it's going to be really comprehensive, though. I have a current one right now. The next one that'll come out probably next year is going to be even bigger, and it'll be a live thing that we do together. So yeah, anyways, have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you next week. Bye for now.